Welcome everybody to Eye of the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card, so another mini pick a card. So some of you may be familiar with this particular format. If not, it's one that I'm sort of experimenting a bit with to do sort of mini readings that probably last only about 10 to 15 minutes at the most, but that are actually you in the driver's seat. You decide the questions to ask, and we just ask Spirit for the answers and some advice around 3 questions in each reading. You can certainly go to more than one reading if you have more than 3 questions. You can also go to more than one reading if you feel drawn to the first reading, say, for the first couple of questions and the last reading for the third. You know, whatever works for you, you go by your intuition. What I'm having a bit of fun with in designing these readings, because like the actual format's very similar. I'm not sort of changing the format particularly between the different videos that I'm doing this, but what I am doing is I'm introducing different tarot decks for each reading, and I'm trying now to look at themes of tarot decks to kind of bring a kind of cohesion to the energy of it. And so I felt like I wanted to do one with animal related decks, and I've got many beautiful decks, but this was just 3 that sort of immediately occurred to me for this one. So I chose the Sun card for each because I felt like I wanted to put a lot of light, like there's light being brought onto the questions, you know, whether or not you're looking at something that's difficult and challenging or whether it's something creative and wonderful. I wanted to kind of shine light on it. So the 3 decks, so each of those represent the decks that will be used for the tarot advice part of each question. For the first reading is the Crooked Cat Tarot. So if you're a cat person, all the cards have beautiful felines on them. The second deck is the Wilder Woven Tarot, and the third deck is the Naked Heart Tarot. So if you're familiar with those decks, it might help you choose. The images may, and as I say, go to more than one if you want. Do whatever works for you. When you know what reading or readings you want to go to, as always, I've got the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome, Pile 1, to your reading. So some of you may be very familiar with this format now. Others, it might be the first time you've seen this sort of reading. So what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle and lay out the answers to questions, a answer, and then some other cards to give some more information around each question. 3 questions in real time. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm shuffling the revolving time oracle that has sort of yes, no, timing and also tarot type of association. So I'm shuffling that for the answer to your first question. So if you know, oh, and I realized I actually put the wrong number up here. Oh no, that's right, it's number 1. I thought for a second I was on a later reading, so just ignore that. I'm getting ahead of myself. So for pile number 1, the answer to your first question, if you can think about that, if you need to pause the video to think about it, by all means do that and then press play, because now we're asking Spirit for the answer to the first question for pile number 1. Okay, and it's going to be a little bit elliptical because we've got moon phases. We will draw another card to see if we can get an answer, but this is saying that there's something either a little bit hidden about this and only over a passage of time are you really going to see. Or it could be saying that it's very connected, the timing around this is connected to the phases of the moon. So if that's something that you align with, pay attention to that. But we'll ask one more time for a little bit more clarity around the answer to your first question, pile 1. Okay, the answer is ultimately yes, but it's interesting, you have the star. So you've got the moon and the stars. I think, you know, for some of you, astrology might have a very strong part of the answer here, and we will be drawing an astrology card for this question as well. What I think it's also saying though is that because I had the feeling with the moon here that things may be hidden for a while until the illumination comes through, maybe from the star and also from the sun, which was the card that we used to set in place this particular set of readings. You may need to have faith for a while. Aquarius season may be a time, so early in the year, that really kind of brings something into clarity and really gives you a sense of the destination. But ultimately the answer is yes. Now what I always say is that if you were looking for the different answer, like no, then you may have between now and Aquarius season to do things to realign yourself to follow the star that you want and to uncover that which might be sort of leading you away from that. So the yes-no part of it is not sort of set in stone, but it is where it is going right now, like on its trajectory with current energies. Let's get you a wild card around this question. Door. When one door closes, another door opens. So you may have wanted no, but this might be saying take the yes, because this is actually bringing something else for you if that's the case. Otherwise, it's saying if you felt blocked in some way, if you're asking, am I going to sort of get back on my sort of path, the answer is yes, but it's almost like something else has to end to allow you to go through the new door, pile 1. So let's get an astrology card, because as I say, astrology could be very strong when we've got both the moon and the stars there. Trine, it's going to say it's easier. It will be easier than you think it's going to be. So that is positive. I'm going to pull you a card from the tarot deck for advice from tarot, and then we're going to have a look at the planets for the trine, just to see if we can get a little bit more information as well. But this is a card from the Crooked Cat Tarot for some advice for you around this. Two of Wands reversed. There's a decision you do need to make. It's a decision about direction, because you've got, the star again, and what is your ultimate aim. But you do need to make a decision. You may be avoiding that. Might be the thing about the door. But it will be easier. If you are wondering, can I get something, and you're a little bit hesitant to go through the door, the answer is yes. It may fully come into being by Aquarius season, but it's going to be easier than you think. Now, I'm just going to shuffle and deal out till I get planets for the trine, just to sort of see if we get a little bit more information about what energies work well together for you to have you go through that door and help you make that decision. Just bear with me until I find, Chiron. So there's something about healing, and that might be why you need to leave something behind. Chiron and the moon. There's spiritual, psychic, and emotional things, and healing in that space. A decision that allows you to go through a new door and to have faith. That's what this is all about. But it will be easier than you think it's going to be, pile 1. Okay, so now we're going to go to your second question. So please think on that as I shuffle. Pause if you need to. The answer to pile 1's second question is... Okay, you ask questions that Spirit wants to kind of give a little bit of context before answering. This is saying the light of day, bringing something up to light. There's something, maybe they're connected, is really important. It's also a very positive energy. I feel in the absence of a yes, no, but we're going to shuffle to see what we get. There is a sense of like a new day is dawning, a kind of a sense of yes or moving forward or positive energy here. Let's try again. Let's ask Spirit for being a little bit clearer about the answer to your question. Yes, again, yes. And this again, the High Priestess, your intuition, your faith. I think you guys are very spiritual. I think that there's a lot of spiritual energy underneath all of this for you. This is bringing something up to the light of day. Time is hidden. So exactly when this is going to happen, when the yes is going to occur, is hidden. But your intuition will give you a better sense of that for you. Let's get you a wild card. Wisdom, the combination of knowledge, experience, and intuitive understanding. Yeah, you have the wisdom for this. You're going to bring something up to the surface in some way. And again, if you want to know, then you have an opportunity through your wisdom and intuition to shift that. But how much time you have, I'm not sure. Particularly with a day, I would say maybe not a lot of time to shift it if you want to shift the energy. But if you are happy to go with a yes, then you will have the wisdom, and I think the time will happen in divine timing. Let's get you an astrology card for this question. The 4th house. This could have something to do with home life, family, starting a family, but it could also be who you are at your core and really getting to who you are at the core and following that. It's interesting too that this is the moon. There's a lot about the moon with you. I think you're very strongly connected to the moon, and where your moon is in your chart, I think, the sign and the house could be very important. Let's get you a piece of advice from the Crooked Cat Tarot. 8 of Cups. There's something that you're not letting go of emotionally that you need to let go of. It may be standing in the way of you finding your true home and using your wisdom. Go within. If you're asking, is there something I need to move on from? This feels very similar. The answer is yes. Okay, so let's go to the third question. So again, focus on what your question is. Pause if you need to, pile 1. So the third question for pile 1, the answer is no. This is the Tower. Time is moving unexpectedly and unavoidably. talks about ego with the Tower. I think it's because often our ego is sort of like challenged when Tower moments come. Now, Tower moments don't have to be bad, but you do need to go with the flow. Now, the answer is no, but again, it's kind of like if you wanted a yes, go with the flow to try and move the flow in your direction. But there's something here where the answer is no, and that you're probably not going to have a lot of time to change that, I don't think. Let's have a look at the wild card for you around this energy. Poison. Personal situation toxic for you. Okay. This is pretty clear. This question, if this isn't resonating, this question may not be the right one for you. Maybe go to another reading for the third question, because this is pretty clear. There is a person or a situation. No. It is too tumultuous. It is poisonous. No. And time is moving quickly. It's kind of get out of the way of it, I would say. So let's see what we get around astrology. Saturn. Yeah. This is blocked to you. Whatever this is, but it's blocked to you to protect you. Something needs to end with the world. It's like this is not good. Whatever this is, it's not good. I can't see how no would have been a good answer in a sense about something for this. Unless in some way it's just confirming something that you know within. Okay. And let's get a piece of advice therefore for you. Six of Swords reverse. Yeah, this will not make you happy. This will not make you calm. This will not set you in the direction that you need to go. There are things for you to definitely go into new things and to start new things and to let go of the past. But there is one thing here that is blocked, and it's blocked for a reason. It's that rejection is protection type of energy. It's blocked to protect you. So as I say, that's very specific. That's a very powerful answer, that one. So if that doesn't seem to resonate with your question, it might be that this is for certain people who've come to part one. But if you felt that didn't really fit with your third question, maybe check out another reading for the third question, because that's a pretty strong answer. So part one, I hope that overall it resonated for you, enjoyed the reading. If so, please like and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear, including whether this format's working for you. But other than that, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome pile number 2 to your reading. If you're familiar with the format of this, you'll know why we've got an empty table here, because we're going to shuffle and ask the 3 questions in real time. If you haven't seen this before, that's what we'll do. So I'm going to ask you each time to reflect on and concentrate on the question as I shuffle. If at any stage you need to, pause the video to get really clear in your mind, and then press play again and have it in your mind. So do that now for your first question, because we're asking Spirit what the answer to pile 2's first question is. Yes. And summer season is important. This is the Page of Wands. So there's all about inspiration, new ideas, new creativity, new passion, all of those things, new adventures, new travels, any of those things. Very big yes. Summer season is important. If you're asking kind of yes, but you're not sure you can do something yet, then maybe by summer season you will be able to do it. Or by summer season you may start to see the fruits of your endeavours. But it's a very big yes. Now, what I am saying in all of these readings is if you are getting an answer you don't want, then look at the timing and think that might be a timing indication for the period of time you might have to shift the energy, because all we ever see with this is the probability given current energy. So, you always have choices that can shift something. So being aware of that can help, but that may give you a time limit for how long you could influence it, and then look at some of the advice as ways to influence if it's the case. But overall, for most of you, if you are looking for a yes, you've got a yes. So let's get a wild card for you. Treasure. Someone or something greatly valued wealth. So I did feel for some of this that this could be like a new passion. If so, it's a very valuable passion. If it's a creative or a business inspiration, I think it's meant to really bring you a harvest, summer season. This is really a big tick to go ahead and do it. So that's very promising. Let's get you some astrology around the question. Waxing crescent moon. So this is, setting your intentions. Yeah, this is what you're meant to do now. Like, this is the thing about pages. I always think with pages, that's when you've been through the Ace to 10, you've got the kind of under your belt what it is to work well with the energy of fire. It's then what are you going to plan and do? So set your intentions, because you've got some big goals and a very big chance of achieving those goals. So let's see what Tarot wants to give you as advice around it. Three of Swords. There may be something that you need to separate from to bring this in. There may be some old pain that you need to let go of. You may have given yourself all sorts of programming that says that you don't get what you want, and this is saying you're meant to. But don't bring any of that old pain into the intention setting. Bring the sort of sense of inspiration, joy, passion, like the rewards that you know that you deserve and you're meant to have. So, and if you wanted this to be no, it may be saying something better is coming. You just need to separate out from whatever no would have represented to you. Okay, so let's go to question 2. So again, concentrate on your second question, pile 2. And the answer is, wow, the Sun, success, yes. There's some very big yes, fiery, passionate energy around this, even if they're different sort of things that you're looking at, and the capacity to really ground it and make something happen with Earth. It says, don't miss the opportunity when the time comes. So I think there is an opportunity coming. Whether these two things are related, they don't have to be, but this is a very big positive yes. I would be thinking, if you had wanted no, this is saying the yes answer is actually better for you. The very positive things are coming through, regardless of whatever you were hoping for there. Let's see what the wild card is. Water, subconscious purification flow. Yeah, like just let it happen. It's so that you're ready, so that you can ride the wave, like literally the wave of success, the wave of love, the wave of emotional fulfillment, the wave of your life path. The astrology around it for question 2. Aries, yeah. Ambition, action, passion, fiery energy, moving forward. Certainly if this is around career, this is a very big yes, that you're moving into a successful cycle, and it's just going to happen easily. It's just going to flow. As long as you take the action, you kind of initiate the energy. So let's get you an advice card around it. Six of Swords. Yeah, this is the right pathway for you. Just go with the flow, be calm, know you're heading in the right direction. You really are. You can initiate something with great confidence, pile 2. So that's really positive. So then let's go to question number 3. Pause if you need to. We are now asking Spirit for the answer to pile 2's question 3. Maybe. Okay, so this could go either way. Either way. This is the King of Swords. So there could be something legal. If you're asking about something legal, you will know in a matter of weeks whether it's yes or no. If it's not something legal, then this is something about balance, integrity, doing the right thing. So I think that within a matter of weeks, you'll have a better idea about what that is, because I think you're coming from a place of integrity, but you don't maybe have all the information that you need at the moment. Let's have a look at, and if you're asking about a relationship, it could be maybe in a matter of weeks you'll have a sense whether you have an alignment of values. Let's get a wild card. Temptation, luring you away from your true purpose. Okay, this is what you need to work out. Is this in balance with your integrity and who you are? This is why there's a bit of a maybe. It doesn't necessarily mean you are. It is a siren call, but I think it's something you have to give a little bit of time to work out. If it's contract, is it too good to be true? You need to give some time to really work that out. If it's a relationship, is the right one for you? Are you aligned in terms of values? Okay, let's get some astrology. The 4th house. This is about who you are at home. For some of you, it could literally be, okay, I'm getting a couple of things. One, it could literally be, do you want to kind of like settle down with someone? Or is this the right person? And there's something going to occur that will let you know whether it's just a kind of temptation or whether it's something that's right in your core. For others, I'm just going to say it, you could be tempted to stray from a relationship. If something like that is going on, in a matter of weeks, you'll have a sense about how important this may be one way or the other. And if it's not about relationships or anything like that, then this is something to do with the core of you and who you really want to be. And you'll know more clearly whether this is an opportunity that fits with your integrity within a matter of weeks. Okay, let's get a piece of advice. Wheel of Fortune reversed. Okay. I think it's tilting. It's saying maybe. I think it's tilting towards this may be too good to be true, whatever it is. So, or it might be that it doesn't happen and it would have been good because it's not the right time. It's going to be one of those things. But I do think there's a little bit of a, is this the right thing for you? And you need more information to know that, pile 2. So I hope that made sense. I hope that you enjoyed the reading and that the questions were answered for you. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Beyond that, if you want to sort of say whether this format's working for you, love to hear about that too, because as I say, I'm just doing a few of them and then I'm going to sort of see how they play out and how people respond. I enjoy doing them, so we'll see whether you enjoy them too. For the moment though, I'll wish you well and hope to see you in future readings. Welcome pile number 3 to your reading. So if you're familiar with this format, you'll know why we've got a blank canvas here. It's because we're going to shuffle and answer the questions in real time. If not, what we're going to do is one at a time. I'm going to ask you to focus on the question, then I'm going to do the answer and some other information about it. So if you don't know clearly what your questions are, for each question, pause the video, get it clear in your mind and play, so that then when you play it again and you're hearing this shuffling, you are thinking about the question. So what we're asking for now is for Spirit to answer the first question for pile 3. The answer is yes, and it's the Lovers card. So certainly, if you're asking about a love relationship, this looks pretty positive. Or certainly yes looks like the answer. Sometimes the Lovers card can be around a third party, so if you're asking about that, it might be confirming that that's the case. If it's not about love, it could be that the connection with others and relationship in general is going to be really good. There's very key to this. There is something about Gemini season, so around about the middle of the year, that would be very key to this as well. What I'm saying at the beginning of each of the readings is that if in any of these you wanted the other answer, the point about tarot is to show the current prevailing energies and what is likely to happen given those. But it gives you information that maybe you can see if you can tilt it in the other direction. So I can't guarantee that it will shift the answer, but you may be able to think about it. And if that's the case, it may be that you need to do it between now and when Gemini season comes up from when you see this video. So let's get you a wild card around it. A little bit more information, something that's a little bit of potentially out of left field or something else that you need to consider. Journey, a physical or spiritual journey. So if you were asking, is love going to come in for me? The answer is yes, but you may need to journey towards it, either literally, like going on travel and meet somebody when you're traveling, or it could be that it's a journey on education or something, your career path, or a spiritual journey, any of those sort of things. I think there's kind of options given the way those sort of, like, you get to the crossroad and there's different options. So I think there's something about what is the pathway that you want to follow in relation to this. And as I say, if it's not about relationship, it's about career or creativity, then this is the beginning of a journey that you're going on. There's sort of like a fairly long range thing associated with it. Let's have a look at some astrology around it. Air, how you communicate, how you think, what you believe. Gemini again, Gemini. You might have Gemini strongly, or if it's about a love relationship coming in, it might be somebody with strong air, strong Gemini, strong meeting of the minds, lots of wit, lots of banter around this. It's long term, I would say, if that's the case. And if it's around career and stuff, there's something to do with your capacity to communicate and be kind of like witty and charming and all of those sort of things, and have multiple talents that are going to be important here. Okay, let's get you the advice from the Naked Heart Tarot. The Devil reversed. This is also about releasing you from something. Old patterns, old obsessions, old workplaces, old loves. This is meant to liberate you in some way and to have a new pattern. It's a new pattern. So if you have been going through difficult relationships, you're asking, is the right one coming in? Then yes, it's a really long journey. There's a great meeting of the minds, and it's not going to have the patterns from the past. And that the same thing could apply around career or anything. So I think that's very, very positive as the first question. Let's now move to the second question, pile 3. So please focus on that. So we're asking Spirit for the answer to pile 3's second question. The answer is yes again. This is the Chariot. So there's something about destiny and movement with this. Cancer season may be important time-wise, and certainly your emotional connection to something is important. But this is something a bit destined, and it's something that requires you to balance a number of sort of energies. Again, if you feel that you want to know, I kind of feel with Chariot, the only way you could shift that is it would be saying something's out of balance, and in shifting the energy would be to get things in balance. But otherwise, I think there's something a bit destined about whatever you're asking. So let's see the wild card. Gratitude. Be grateful for what you received today. Yeah, so maybe some of you didn't necessarily want yes, but I think it's saying there's something, this is going to bring something in that takes you forward. And if you did want yes, then maybe the thing that's really going to start to accelerate it is just an attitude of gratitude, allowing it into your life, believing in it. Sometimes destiny is the hardest thing to believe in, but, destiny does come along sometimes, and we do need to sort of receive it. Let's see what we have astrologically. Water. There's emotional sort of energy around this, the emotional flow. That's probably the gratitude energy. And I think, there might be a connection for some of you between the two things, because then the Chariot balancing the head and the heart could be operating there. Let's see what the Naked Heart, speaking of heart, has to say as advice for you around this question. This is the Page of Cups reversed. You do need to work out what's in your heart. I think for some of you, you might have wanted to know. And it might be possible that you could get to know. But you've got to work out what it is you want and what are you grateful for. If you did want yes, that you can make this even better by being really clear on what this means to you emotionally, because it's not entirely clear at the moment. It's more like you're receiving it rather than being in the driving seat. And with the Chariot, you need to be in the driving seat. Okay, so last question, pile 3. Concentrate on your last question, please, as we ask Spirit for the answer to the third question for pile 3. The answer is yes again. Well, you're a trifecta of yeses, pile 3. And this is the Magician. Wow, you've got powerful cards. They're all major arcana. So this is your capacity to manifest. Time is running fast. Whatever this question is, you don't have a lot of time. If you did want it to be no, you do have potentially the power with the Magician to manifest a different outcome, but you need to do it quickly. And if you do want yes, then you need to be ready to really jump up and move towards it, because you can really manifest something with this. Let's see the wild card. Trickster, a person who is not what they appear to be. Okay, now that's interesting with the Magician, because it's not reversed. I don't do reversals in this. But if you'd had a reversed Magician, say, coming up in the tarot, I suppose it still could, but that would be saying be careful of the information that's coming. I think there's something here that you could really do well with and really take forward, but it's almost like, see how he's blindfolded? You really do have to double check everything, and time is running fast. So focus on what you truly want with this. And if you wanted to know, as I say, you could turn it around, but someone is getting in the way. So look at who you trust. Let's have a look at the astrology around it. The Moon, yeah, there's something a bit hidden. Somebody in this situation is not being honest. Getting in touch with your kind of inner magician, your inner high priestess will help. But you do need to know that, like, you are able to manifest something. You are ready to do something. But there is someone who could be a trickster energy in this, something a bit hidden. So don't let the fact, like, if you can, slow things down enough wherever you can to be clear. Okay, and then let's get a little piece of advice from the Naked Heart Tarot for you around this. 5 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so I think there's a couple of things this is saying. One is that this feels like, if this is around business or something, you can turn around something where maybe there has been some energy that was a bit shady, and you can turn that around. So I think there's that, yes, but it's quick. You have to kind of like move with this quickly, and you have to not let that get in the way. But the other side of this is you have everything you need. Time is running fast, but don't feel you have to crowdsource opinions around this. Don't feel you can't do it yourself, because there's somebody you can't entirely trust in this. Whether they mean ill or not doesn't really matter. It's just, it's not the right person to be listening to. This is not a situation to crowdsource a viewpoint on. This is a situation to go into your own power and your own skill. So I hope that resonates for you, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Beyond that, if you have any comments on the format, I'm sort of still experimenting with it. I'm pretty much sticking to the format, but I'm just seeing, whether this is actually working for people over time. So I'd love to hear. And beyond that, I hope to see you in future readings.